meeting and decide we could sit down and chat.
The problem is a lot of people don't want to. I mean, I'm not saying you wouldn't, but it's the main thing is it's just like a citizen to citizen, and somebody came up to you and was like, hey, what do you think about this? I'm just that.
Yeah.
I could say I'm from KVOA and have this contrived thing here.
Well, like, you don't need to lie either about it, man. No, you
lie.
Well, and say you're from KVOA. And
oh, no.
The
whole point about it
is you could email. We could sit down, schedule a thing. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna poke my head in. I'm gonna see if there's anywhere quiet we could sit down. If there's not, we got to do it out here. But if we can get some time, if you want to talk, I'll give you some time.
There doesn't need to be a long conversation. I just want to get a quote or a comment on the and don't find this offensive. I hope you know. Some people, I know you're the head of party, so you're used to being camera.
We get a lot of folks out here screaming, throwing stuff at the window.
Well, I would never do that. But the thing about it is, the reason that people are kind of like, and I'm not coming here from any sort of side of the party. I'm more in moderate, right? I grew up in Tucson, right? Long story short, I know a lot about how Tucson runs as far as the political environment. And it never was this radical on both sides, right? I'm not saying this or that.
Yeah.
So as far as like, I read the post, and normally it would be like, oh, you guys are just hitting your political points. This week it's the SNAP benefits. Like, you came out, I'm ready for SNAP. Anyway, this is actually this comment, and I'm going to read it just because I don't want to be, off basis here, but what MAGA protects, while MAGA, sorry, I can't talk today, while MAGA protects pedophiles, while the GOP twiddles their thumbs, Dems deliver. So the whole point is, the political, you saying people are upset, like, maybe there is a guy who supports Donald Trump, just like maybe you supported Biden, and he sees somebody going, you know what? They're calling me a pedophile, and he's over here, he lives, I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
So here's where, like, you don't want the people coming or people, but the way that comes out to the average person is very divisive. And it has nothing to do with, I mean, I hate to say reality, because it's like, it's all with the Epstein conspiracy and this, and so it's not, it's all these.
Well, but that's exactly it. So here's the thing. The average person, I do not believe, and I'd certainly hope, they don't see a post like that or similar statements that have been made by Democrats here in Arizona and nationwide. Parties, local elected officials, national elected officials, and think, oh God, they're talking about me. Because here's the thing, the average person didn't fly on Epstein's jets. They didn't visit Epstein's island, and they're not fighting to protect that.
But they aren't either. That's the thing is, I know, I talk to a lot of people. Nobody in their right mind, and just between a man and a man, would ever protect a pedophile. And then to come to find out, like, I made a post.
That's the point. That's our point, though.
But there's lots of points we could make.
There are Republican voters that want this thing released.
It's going to be released, though. We all know that, right?
We don't.
Well, what I'm saying is, both sides want it released. Like, I'm a Republican Democrat. Like, I voted for Biden, and now I switched over. I'm more Republican because I didn't like Biden's kind of policies. But, so that's the way some people are. They used to be Democrats, and then they see if they ever want to come back. We
got Republicans that used to be, or I say we got Democrats now that used to be Republicans.
Yeah.
People are shifting all over the place. That happens. But here's the thing. No one's going to read a post like that, I would hope. And to your viewers, I want to speak directly to you. Mm-hmm. If you read that post and you thought that this party or anyone else here was calling you a pedophile, of course we were not. First off, there's no evidence that the average person out there, whoever they voted for, did heinous crimes. And I personally, and our party, believe in the most American of all principles, which is that everyone is innocent until they are proven guilty. What our party is upset about and what we are advocating for is the release of the Epstein files and lists. And to do that, we've got to swear in Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva. Let's make one point very, very clear here. Both candidates in CD7, both major parties' nominees, said they would sign that discharge petition. And frankly, if the Republican nominee had won that election, I have no faith that Speaker Johnson wouldn't be doing the exact same thing to him.
Well, yeah, but here, let me, and I don't mean to, I don't want to cut you up because I'm letting you go. Here's the thing is I follow up. Yeah, go ahead.
That's a serious issue. That tells us that there is something broken with some of our elected leaders. And specifically in this instance, what we are seeing is far more Republican leaders. That's a genuine issue that should concern everybody. I don't care if you are conservative, moderate, liberal, on the fringes of anything. I mean, when we are talking about something as fundamental as wanting to make sure that the government is doing its job, that it is allowing federal prosecutors to do their job, and we have no assurance of that at the moment, in regards to heinous sex crimes involving minors, that's a serious problem. And I think we should all be united on that.
Well, let's put, this is kind of a long,
my final,
yeah, no, I don't mind, because the thing is,
that up though, this is my final sentence, and that is why everybody, I'm calling on everybody, regardless of their political affiliation, contact Congressman Siscomani, contact Congressman Speaker Johnson, and tell them it is time to swear in Adelita Grijalva and put an end to this business. Release the list, swear in, release the list, and let's find out.
Let me exactly, because here's the thing is that I watch, everyone's been watching, that sounded exactly what everyone's been hearing for the last, however, you probably know how many days. It's
over a month now.
So here's the thing is, so let's pretend that's happened, right?
Yeah.
That's happened, right? Because we all know all this stuff that's going to happen. And then the Epstein realized
we don't know
she won't know. She'll get her office, or she'll get
but when she is now sitting on record.
No, but what I'm saying,
as the longest that any
that's
fine.
Special election, but that's the way.
Fine.
Well, I'm not saying it's fine or not fine. It doesn't pretend that it doesn't.
Find loopholes in the Constitution.
My point is
Speaker Johnson and Donald Trump are doing.
That's a lot of what people could say on both sides. So I'm here to get away from that, because
but I don't care if my elected officials were in power, my party was in power, and they were finding loopholes in the Constitution, I would be calling that out. And
but everybody is doing that.
Position,
everybody's doing that.
Too.
So everybody's calling it out. Yeah. You hear it. Everybody's in their corner. Yeah. And so what I'm asking is, when does the divisiveness stop? When you, I don't know if you made the post, or I'm sure you have a social media intern, maybe someone who's on the.
Actually, neither. Those are the exact and explicit words of the chair of our party as he instructed me to put the post up.
So that's the whole point. Is all of these other things everybody hears on CNN, they hear it on Fox, and it's kind of like water under the bridge for the normal citizen. But kind of like,
I hope that's not water under the bridge.
As far as hearing the news for a month, it's the same until the government opens and we can agree, right? It's kind of like everybody's just waiting. People are having their talking points. A lot of it's the Epstein. I'm kind of saying, hey, release the Grijalva files. I mean, if you know, I don't know if you're willing to ever investigate any about that.
Well, we're not an investigative body. We're not the government.
Well, then I'll get a comment is, have you heard about the Roscoe Perez thing about him being a...
I don't even know who Roscoe...
Rocky. I always call him Roscoe. Roque Perez. Have you heard about the allegations with him?
No. Okay. I'm sorry. I can't give you a comment on that.
I'll send it to you though, because it has to do with that.
I'm blind because I'm going to do my due diligence
completely.
In the same way that I wouldn't call out Speaker Johnson if I hadn't done my due diligence, I'm not going to call out anybody.
Well, and that's the whole thing is, as far as eventually there has to be, I guess, some sort of less whistle calls in a way, because sometimes when you're like, hey, the pedophile, I mean, because there's no one that's saying that there was a pedophile or not, but it's basically calling someone a Nazi or it's these words that are going to your base that could offend a lot of people maybe that did vote for Trump.
I'm sorry. Let's cross a few things, because you just said, and I maybe you misspoke in your question, so I want to give you the benefit of the doubt here. But you just said
give me the benefit of the doubt.
You said no one's been accused of being a pedophile. What we are talking about in terms of the Epstein files is at least one person who went to prison pretty famously for child sex crimes. A second who went to prison and is currently in prison for helping them. Those files, we believe, and from the statements of the federal government, happen to contain the names of other powerful, wealthy, influential people
gonna all come
who
out.
have done things like that.
We'll have another conversation about it, because we all know that. So what I'm saying, my last questions, because I know you got to get to work.
Well, I absolutely do. And,
but here's the last thing, and because you're a comedian, so let's have some fun here. Let's laugh a little bit. You're a comedian.
I'm a reformed comedian. These ain't the funniest times we're living in.
So let me ask you something.
Before you ask your last question, I just want to finish that point.
Yeah.
I do want to address that, because you said no one was accused of it. The federal government has accused and convicted people. We just want to make sure that the rest of the perpetrators are brought to justice and that this investigation is still moving forward.
Oh, and I think everybody knows, because no one's going to let this go. It's kind of like the Watergate and all these. It just doesn't go away.
But what we've seen that's not
if your elected leader ever gets in power, buddy, or Alex, I didn't mean to call you buddy. That could have been offensive.
No,
Alex,
buddy's fine.
Is it Alec or Alex?
It's Alex. But
Alec.
You know what? My grandpa called me Alec till the day he died.
Hey, people are starting to call me
90s.
Grandpa now. I got gray hair going.
You can call me whatever you want. Trust me, I've been called worse. And buddy's a nice thing, not offensive. That's a serious issue.
Yeah,
that's a serious issue.
So
and you're right that everybody knows about it. I think everybody's upset about it.
Well, that's what I want to turn around.
Why I want to go back to that call. Call Juan Ciscomani and ask why he's not demanding Adelita to be sworn in. Ask him why he hasn't signed on to that discharge petition.
Well, I think we know why.
He's already in.
I think we all know, because everybody right now is in their own team. Let's just be real.
Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Mason.
Yeah, but there's three Democrats that also just moved over and voted to open up the government. There's three, so they're more moderate. They're more moderate.
The government. We're talking about the discharge
now,
petition for the Epstein.
Last couple questions, because it might be a two-parter.
Right.
Is that we got right here?
And my lunch is waiting behind me.
I know. We got the Pima County Democrat, and this whole conversation has been about national talking points, right? Which matter. Like I spent a lot of time in my life when I was younger paying attention to the Iraqi war and all the politics that went around with, Clinton and Bush and the Bushes, and you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So what I'm here about is all this projection for this national, which you guys are a Democratic Party, but it does say Pima County, and we have a major crisis, if you follow my page, of where Tucson used to be. I was born here in 1979 to where we're at today, as far as crime. The homicide rate is up 20%. I mean, overdoses. I'm. If you follow my page, you'll know.
I get that you're saying that, but
so my whole point. Let me finish my question.
But you had me the first couple. But I'm gonna have to call. Look, I gotta call strikes and balls.
Call it.
The homicide rate has been climbing down since the COVID spike that impacted the entire nation, and it was coming down faster here.
Actually, I'm gonna have to put it on the screen. No, I just looked it up. We're at a higher number right now, and just since Mayor Romero, it's really spiked. And you could blame
Romero
it.
Came into office during a COVID spike.
No, that's what I'm saying. We can blame it on COVID, but what I'm saying is, since she's gone on office and since the COVID.
No, but I'm sorry, but on that one, I'm sorry, but that's just factually untrue. I haven't looked at updated numbers, to be fair, this month, but we had a nationwide violent crime spike. Mm-hmm. We can't blame. To your point about we're talking about national versus local.
That's the main thing.
But when we talk about the crime rate, when we talk about fentanyl, when we talk about homicide, when we talk about these things in the context of the last 5 years, and every city in the country, every place I have vacationed, every place I have visited, in red states and in blue states, cities with Republican leadership and Democratic leadership at the local level, not a damn one of them didn't get hit by that crime spike. And
yeah, no, real quickly, the whole country is the whole country. But let me. Well, we can, because here's the whole thing, and it's okay. That's the whole problem. Is one time I would like for, and maybe it's not you because you're at a pretty high position, is to admit not failure but the truth. Where if you look at Arizona and you look at the facts, which I have done lots of posts, right, and research. 50 to 60, even some people say higher, have a fentanyl comes through Adelita Grijalva's and Rahul Grijalva's district. Yeah, no, I promise you. So let me, and it used to be, let me finish because you went on some long things.
But that's just, I'm sorry.
So that's what I'm saying is our district, so our district, just to let you know, has actually fueled a lot of it by not acknowledging how bad and we can end it at that. We can call balls and strikes, but that's where the truth is. Like, it doesn't matter what side you're on. Like, between you, like, I have kids, right? I have kids. You probably have kids.
I don't actually.
Well, maybe you have friends that have kids and you see them. And the thing about it is, when we can all agree,
I got 4 great nephews.
The whole point is that right now is a 9/11 happening about every month, literally, and it should be something that brings us together. We're like, yeah, the cartel have, and I'm not going to call out the cartel, people have brought over these killer drugs, and already today, go on my page, there's already been 6 or 7 overdoses this morning. One officer had to administer Narcan. You know what I mean? So that's the whole point, is when we can get back to just having normal conversations and not having some guy who went to an island, a pedophile, right? I get the everybody's angry, but where I'm saying is when you can come in with more of maybe of a moderate response to saying, hey, yeah, we're going to address that, but hey, my main goal is Tucson, Pima County Democrat Party, not some national. And I'm not saying I don't follow all your posts, and you guys are in the community doing things, but I just think where that could really just ignite, and not ignited me, but it was just disrespectful, because it was like not, and to me it could imply, that people that support, a president, because I support whoever the president is, even when Biden was. If it's this president, because I know one day you're going to have your own president that you voted for. Well, if you're lucky, right? The pendulum swings both ways.
It's funny you say that.
Yeah.